Hello and welcome back to Gubb Farm. I'm going to talk about deer today and how you keep them out. Well, attempts to keep them out would be a better choice of words. So where I'm positioned is an island, and on the opposite side of one of the waterways is a national trust property called Crum Estate. And what we get there is fallow deer, and they're very competent swimmers, and they'll swim across the loch onto the island, and they can cause a lot of damage to your trees. So some of the things I've learned about trying to keep them out. First thing is, having observed them from following them around the island one day, they will not cross something where they cannot see where they're going to land. They will walk up and down a hedgerow until they see a gap, but if they see a gap and they can see where they're going to land, they have no problem clearing, I'm going to guess 12-15 foot. I know from visiting Crum Estate they have very tall fences, again maybe 10 foot, 12 foot, and they're able to escape from there, I believe. So if you're going to develop a hedgerow, make sure it's tall, make sure it's thick, so that the deer cannot see what's the other side. If they can't see where they're going to land, they're not going to jump it. Now that takes time to develop that sort of strategy, and you can see the hedgerows here have been heavily cut back, so it's going to take many years to build them up. So I'm left with the problem of what do I do now. Now you could go down the route of putting up very large fences all around the farm, but it's going to look very, very unsightly. So that's not what I want to do. So I was searching on YouTube, and a number of people talked about monofilament fishing line. Specifically a clear 30-pound monofilament fishing line. And their reasoning was, when the deers approach it, they can't see it. And when they put pressure against it, they don't know what's going on, they don't know what's the other side of it, and they're not going to jump something they don't understand. So I put this up. It's very low cost, and it took me about a day to put up this basic fence around the perimeter of the trees. And what I've observed is, it seems like for the most part they have not come in. There was one incident at the start in around March, April, and they did cross it. And I followed their footprints because the ground was still soft, and they walked along the fence, so clearly they were unsettled by it and they were trying to find a way out. And they followed it for a couple of hundred meters, and eventually they got into a corner and they just went a bit nuts, and then they tried to just barge through it. I haven't seen any evidence of them being here since. So when they were there was some tree tops. They nipped the tree tops. There was about half a dozen trees, and they just nipped them, and they just bit off the leader. And it's not the end of the world if they do that, and we'll talk about that in another video. So there was footprints, and I could see damage to the trees, so I know they've been there. But since that event, I think maybe it traumatized them. I think they now know that if they encounter this, to stay away. Or I've been lucky and they've never been here since. Now I have seen them on the island since that, and they do roam around. So I don't have hard and fast evidence whether or not it works. But my gut feeling is that it does help solve the problem. And I'm hoping now that they've learned that there's just something here they don't understand, and they will stay away. So to summarise, I think the only way to keep deer out, build solid fences, like wooden solid fences, or get your hedgerows nice and thick and tall, and maybe look at some fishing line. Look, thank you for watching this. If you are interested in following the highs and lows of establishing an organic hazelnut farm here on an island in County Fermanagh, Northern Ireland, I'll share with you the lessons learned, and I really would like to hear what other people have to say. How have they dealt with deer, if that is a problem in their area? How do they keep them out? Yeah, so I'll be discussing lessons learned, machine choices, and taking you from the planting through to the production of these nuts. Good luck!